25 seconds left. Picks himself up the bomb. Phelps has gone aggressive down through banana. Taco's fallen back. This A bomb site is free and ripe for the taking, but he has to be cautious. Phelps is going to be hot on his heels. Will be afforded this bomb plant. Bialy. Gotta go ahead and get that down. Times of the essence. Taco and Phelps rushing in here. Taco pushing out from long. Smoke rains in to keep him away. Bialy actually could take the fight, and if the timing allows it, Phelps could easily go down. That shot rally forward. Phelps holding the angle. Good night, Bialy. And there we go. SK on to their 10th. Defuse going to come on in. Plenty of time left for that. Currently, VP, they haven't won a single round. Taz, bottom of the board, 2 frags for him. Neo in with 4. Pasha and Bialy both at 5, and Snacks on 6. So when we look over at SK, top of the board is Phelps. He's on 16. Once again, he's been kind of one of these players who has been stepping up for them, even when the rest of the team have fallen silent.
He played lights out on Cobblestone as well. Now he's on 16 to 5 on Inferno. He's looking perfect. And SK Gaming in general looking perfect. It's hard to really analyze what goes wrong for VP, because it just feels like every single time they try a play, they get shot down. It's not like SK Gaming know exactly what they're doing, but the way that they play around it is just perfect. And then, once again, if you can't win your duels, one thing is getting into an individual 1v1, but if you can't win that 1v1, as a terrorist trying to open up a bomb site, then it's hard to get that entry, it's hard to get that bomb down, it's hard to get into post-plant, because that's where you usually win rounds as T, is when you get that bomb down, when you have 3 AKs versus 3 retaking CTs, you can take these positions. That's kind of where you battle towards, but if you can't even get to that point, rounds will be very hard to come by. Molotov. Hell on banana. Tass goes down to 22 HP.
I was scared for him there.
Yeah, me too.
Fallen. Holding over here in apartments, has to be cautious because Bialy lies in wait. Down goes Taco. Fallen was meant to be there to trade that, but the smoke means it's proven otherwise. The rest of VP stacked up over on banana. This time it's Phelps and Fur to try and keep the poles at bay.
Missed flashbang from VP. Trying again here. Fur and Phelps both peeking, and we'll be taking both terrorist players out. Neo bouncing back. He has been decent throughout this best of 3, but will be taken out after another missed spray. Bialy 1v3. 45 seconds to go. Doesn't have a bomb. It's under CT control. And this isn't really looking possible.
Nah, it's not looking good, is it? You wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. 3 legendary players left alive. coldzera, Fallen, and Phelps. Couldn't think of anything worse to face off against. 25 seconds as well. Bomb down on banana. If you take a look at the economy over on the side of VP, it is dwindling. He's just going to probably look to try and save here. No point even testing the waters really down on banana, especially not with coldzera holding it on the AWP. So, SK in with their 11th. Right now, it's a slaughter. I wasn't expecting this last match to be this so one-sided.
I expected, not the exact opposite of this, but I expected this to be a very close game. And it has not been so far. 11-0, SK Gaming. Playing perfectly here at Inferno. If you were, unlike me and Harry, before this game, believing in SK, you're probably clapping your hands right now because everything seems to be working out for the Brazilians. VP, the Polish army, has not been able to find anything so far on this map. And we have to go back a bit, all the way back to train before we can find something that looked really positive for the Poles. Poles buying this one, Snacks with the MAC-10, utility behind it, the rest of the team, rifles, some armor. Couple of smokes, but yeah, I'm not actually sure what VP needs to do to come back into this game. It's very hard to build up an argument of how this should actually happen. First of all, they just need to win their duels. When they do that, it can kind of start to open up for the executes. flashing and molotoving the orbs out on the CT side, Coldzera and Fallen, trying to push them back and then move into these post-plant positions, and then a chance will be existing for VP, but we haven't really made it there yet. Good flash coming in, Fallen taken out of the equation. Third push back onto the bomb side at first boxes. He's allowed to get that first one. He gets two. He shouldn't be allowed to get anything in that situation.
Yeah, overstays as well quite a lot. Somehow manages to make it work as well. Coldzera is down in CT. Bomb plant going to come through for VP. They're poised to try and take their first round. 3v3 in the retake. Best scenario we've seen them in. Coldzera wrapping on round through the coffin. Gonna take the peek. Cow Snacks is quick on the trigger though. It's Coldzera. Taken out of this retake. Phelps and Taco all that remain. Time ticking away, and Snacks solidifies his round, picks up a second to his name. Taco's there, and Snacks is going to go ahead and go for a little bit more. Taco does manage to find one, takes the peak close, make it two. In with the USP, somehow takes all three. There's no time left. VP will get their first round, but that was an expert display of marksmanship from that man.
VP get the first round, and first time they get into these post-plant positions. Hero play from Fer, but after that, Bialy's very good together with Pasha to get the 2 extra shutdown frags, and then as they get into that B-bomb site, they get the bomb down, they get into familiar territory. Your instinct kind of takes over because you know exactly where to place yourself in the post-plant position. You can envision the role, like the whole round happening. You know exactly what to do. And that's what VP needed. The only thing they don't need right now is a complete reset to get completely shut down in this round. If that happens, it's going to be very hard to be on that side right now. There's going to be silence for days in that team's beat.
Flash round, Snacks holding it close, goes in with the peek, but once again doubles down. He's been so damn good at that. In response, Taz, Bialy, Neo, they're the 3 that remain. Stacked up outside of B, they've started to rotate in Coldzera. Fer. In the sight, falls to Bialy. Now they keep pushing in. Coldzera, the first response, going to be the first man on the scene. Tries to cause a scene. It will be able to find the first. Now fades away. As Bialy. Got to get this bomb down at least. Cold just waits for his teammates now to rotate in.
2 kids and Molotovs as well. Flash time, he comes in. Snacks is, or Taz is perfectly ready, but Taco trades it out. Now Bialy 1v2 has to be the hero for VP. No utility whatsoever. He does have armor. CT's pushing in now.
And Bialy left 1v2. Both players coming from the same angle. Tries to play it round. The pillar catches the first unaware. Bialy doubles down, and there we go. The triple for him carries VP in with their second round. And just like that, SK, they were up 11-0. And now they've got no money left. VP should be in with a third here.
Bialy has been the catalyst for VP throughout this match. He has been the #1 player in my opinion. Lots of impact frags, clutches as well, taking rounds in his own hands and making it work. And he will be the man to bring VP on #2. This does force SK Gaming into pistols because some of these last rounds have been decently close. So a chance for VP to come back now. If they grab the last 2 in the pistol, maybe we'll have a game on our hands. That is what I think everyone apart from the population of Brazil is open for right now. To get a close game here in this decider. Help's already gone down. Low on HP with his shotgun. And VP getting closer and closer to that A-bomb site.
Just 4 players left out here on the A-bombs. Gonna go ahead and start to rotate the guys on round. Fallen's able to find one. He'll fall immediately, and now it is just Fer and Cold left, 2v4.
At this point, it's probably worth for Fer just to save his weapon and bring that shotgun into the next round. Actually, no. They're going to have a buy. Maybe he's going to throw it over to Phelps. Let's see how they're going to decide to do things next round. Cold Syrup hoping for some exits, but VP is they're probably just going to rotate down through mid. Apartments. Secure out. Double stack here. They go in for it. They see if they can grab something. The duo here. Can they get? Spots Neo. And that's one weapon they can lock out. Two have gone into library, and that's Neo shutting down the first one, called Syrup. Will he get anything? Nope. He won't. Shut down. And VP on a third. Last round of the first half, Harry VP. They looked dreadful in the beginning of this, but have now grabbed 3 in a row. And that's the thing about VP, you can never count them out.
That's very true. They've got 3. They're looking to try and grab a 4th here. When you look at the buy coming in for SK, it's not going to be ideal. Phelps on the UMP. Colzero's only got a smoke behind him. Well, utility has been fairly pivotal for SK in these rounds that they've won, so having to go a little bit easy on it on players like Coldzero and Fallen isn't going to be too fantastic for them. VP sending 4 players over here to Banana. Should just be giving this a free as Phelps and Fur play it more passively back within the B-bomb site. Going to go ahead and throw a Power's utility on in, clear out sandbags, clear the corner as well, make sure no one's there. Find it a bit more daringly for SK.
Alright, so this setup we have for VP right now. 4 players on Banana. Tass on the opposite side of the map. They have a minute to go. Still time to change plans. As they line up smokes for CT. And the question is here. Will this be a fake or will this be the rotate? Just go through mid and go for that A split. Here we go. Decisions are being made. I think this is the fake. Snacks is rotating back with the bomb.
Oh, Phelps, he's touching people in the smoke. Oh, finds one. And able to go and get the next. So now just Pasha and Taz. Snacks and Pasha there, the 2 left alive. Snacks able to get 1. Pasha does come in with the trade on the taco. And now Phelps and Fur rotating up through mid. Fallen holding this one from Library. They say knowledge is power, and he's going to need to use that fact in this retake as he tries to come on in. Down goes Pasha. Snacks taps away. Fallen still alive and kicking. Frag comes through from Phelps. Fully blind, still manages to get it. And there we go, SK. They're going to finish off the half at 12-3, meaning a pistol round could lock VP out of this.
VP tried to go for the 2-man Banana utility fake. Does not work out in the end. Timing was not on their side, and Phelps was definitely not on their side as well as he grabs a double in that round. As we are about to jump into second half of this game. As you mentioned, a pistol round win here could propel SK Gaming to 14. Beast we're used to, but there's still a secondary half where you can step up and show us all the magic that we're used to seeing when watching Coldzero play. 2 flashbangs and a smoke on Fallen. Armor on everyone else. No kit on CT right now. As we do have Bialy investing into full nades instead. See how this one is going to play out. Focus towards second mid to begin with for SK Gaming. Taco going to be in apartments. The rest of the team are going to come up through mid here. Pasha and Pasha's actually the only one right now. But he's far away towards long. One rotating in. That's Bialy coming in from that B bomb side. And here we go.
Pasha first man to fall. This pistol round's pivotal here, and Snacks and Bialy know that clearly as they get 3 between them. Holding it from Pit. Snacks doing some serious damage. As now Fallen and Phelps find themselves 2v2. Neo's already there, but he whiffs the shot. That's allowed Phelps to get into Pit from here. He can do some serious damage. Has that crossfire set up with Fallen. Just chipping away at their HP. Fallen holds it off. Phelps finds that frag, and now Neo 1v2 gets into the site. But Fallen connects the shot. Down he goes. SK, they've won the pistol, and at this point, VP in an awkward position. Do they eco this one out? Eco the next. Try to play for overtime? Do they force by now to the end of the game?
I think.
Because let's not forget, the winner of this is map 3 in the series. We're 1-on-1, both teams tied up. The winner gets invited back for the next DSG and that prestige of beating an elite team.
Kind of felt like VP should have had that one. They have 4 players on the bomb side, but it doesn't work out anyways. They go for pistols here. Around $1,000 on each member. Helps with the opening. Boyali goes down on the banana. Snacks takes a bit of damage as well. 3-man CT stack on B. And Snacks alone in mid. Took a bit of damage in the beginning of the round, as previously mentioned. P250 as well, but fallen in the boys from Brazil are just winning duels left, right, and center. And with Fer taking out Snacks, the A-bomb side is completely clear. Roll on a welcome mat and just give them the sight. Rapid. With a bow and send it to them. Not going to be much here to be done from EP. 3 pistols. Could be brought into the next round. I'd say definitely not going to buy next round. So the wise choice here is to save. But then again, Harry, that will mean SK Gaming are on 14. 2 rounds away from winning, in quotation marks, 3rd place.
Oh, Neo's there. Fer's just going to let him kill his teammate. Finally comes in to save. Bit of friction maybe between Fer and Fallen. You never know. Phelps could actually get caught off guard. Gonna go back for the face. That was risky. Could have gone down with the bomb there. Fer still lies in wait in the back line. Get dispatches of Taz, and now it is just Pasha left. 1v4. Bomb plant comes in.
He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and the rock being Fer, and the hard place being the rest of SK Gaming on that bomb site. Actually, I don't think Fer knows that he's behind him right now. Pasha might be able to grab an AK. I'm pretty sure Pasha knows where Fer is, so he's just running around the Rosie. And Fer will get it in the end, so VP not able to get anything out of that. Fer with a quad kill. And in this round, I could have brought some pistols into this. Instead, it's going to be 4 grenades. Looking for, or 5 grenades, looking for the grenade stack here. Let's see how they're going to play this one out. It's definitely not going to be an easy round to win. Looks like they're all going to go into mid. The good old matchmaking strat. Let's all buy an aid. Throw it down towards T-slope.
Yeah, I see the artillery going to rain in. Finds a bit of damage. Snacks and Bialy still have theirs. A bit late to the party. They managed to get him in. As a result, don't find anything, and now with, for the most part, just vanilla pistols, you've got Bialy and Neo with that P250 and CZ combo, respectively. Ash is going to fall. They're going to try and deploy the boost here, but Phelps, something tells me he wins this. There we go. Down goes Neo. He's going to be mopping up this B bomb site. Taz desperate to try and find the CZ. Can't. Let's manage to get it eventually. Only has 7 rounds left in it. And player wrapping up from behind. Going to be Taco. It's not looking too good for Taz here. There we go, SK Gaming at match and series point, 15-3. VP, they have got a buy at least coming into this round. Pasha gonna have that AWP in hand. Rifles for everyone else. Plenty of utility. And this is where we need to see VP make their stand. Of course, they want to be the ones to win out this series and take that 3rd place, as well as the invite to ESG next time.
2 UMP45s. SK Gaming could have potentially bought up here, but they have so much confidence. You're just staying on the UMP45 to have a decent economy already. Knows that this is a buy from VP, looking to add insult to injury. It's Pasha and the boys lacking utility, but they do have that all. Fer going for the wall bang, something we see so much these days. In these T defaults, take control over apartments, do the wall bang, which disallows Taz to kind of peek out towards apartment, because you know that if you stand in that position, you're just going down. Phelps trying to get that flashbang timing, same Taco. Now Taco knows the position of the close range player as Taz switches things up. Flashbangs raining in, they're taking control of a short A and pushes in.
Here rushing into the side, Pasha's able to find the first. Taz rubbing barrels with Taco. He's going to fall, but the rest of the guys for SK go down behind him. As Snacks and Neo lock down the site. Pasha as well in with 2. A great hold from VP, and that's actually some economic damage done. SK have to rebuy fully across the board. They're going to have enough to do so. Not too much of an issue there. There you go, VP starting to pave that path to the comeback, perhaps.
11 rounds in a row. Yeah, this is not likely, but in CS, anything can happen. I'm gonna wait a few more rounds before I start to get excited. VP, we know they are an elite team. We know they can bring games back from the void. But this one just seems to be too big of an ask. So let's not count our chickens just yet. Pasha has the orb. Phelps is burning away. 68 HP on him. 3-man CT stack, or 3-man B stack, turns into a 2-man B stack, and Pasha and CT. As Biala takes down the first one. That's Phelps gone down. The hero so far. Stacks with one onto Fur. Bomb still drop at the end of T-slope. And good damage being done here. VP poised to take this round.
Yeah, Fallen and Cold, the dynamic duo that remain at 4SK. Yeah, rallies some shots on over. You have to go back and get that bomb. Look at this, though. We immediately see it right now. Taz going to be taking some aggression in through apps, playing it aggressive. He also has support from Snacks. They lie in wait. They're very far forward. Allows those rotates to come in early from B. Imagine we're going to see Snacks maybe play a bit more passively, only being 19 HP and Fallen. He's aware that this could happen. Takes the peek. Down goes Taz and Fallen. He's able to find that one. Still 20 seconds left. They're not going to try and go for this one. We'll just be holding on to the AWP and the AK into the next round. VP in with magic number 5. They need a little bit more, though. A little bit more magic if they want to pull this one back. 10 rounds left to go. VP, a team that's renowned for their up and downs. It's going to have to be one hell of an up, but it's possible.
Yep.
Counter-terrorists
A lot of grit, a lot of luck. They need to hit all their shots from now on out. The second a mistake is made, VP will go down because SK Gaming great on capitalizing on enemy mistakes, and surely will happen if VP allow SK inside. So, almost decent buy coming in from SK. Attack on a Desert Eagle, the rest of the team okay. Utility-wise as well. Fallen on and all. Missing a bit on the CT side still.
Here we go, SK. Just lying in wait down in mid. Pash is taking some aggression here. The smoke goes deep. Bialy. Asper goes deeper. Now, looks like he might leave Pash to try and hold this on his own. Usually that's the advantage of having the AWP here. Oh, but Pash has been flashed. Has to get the hell out of there as the UMP start to roar in his direction. Bialy able to find one. Fallen instant on the return as they boost it up. Pasha misses that flick. Cold's error in with the trade, and now mad advantage going the way of SK. Snacks gonna smoke it off, tries to push through. Down goes Taco, goes back for more. First been tagged within inches of death, but he lies in wait down in CT. They've got no idea. Smoke rains in. Neo just gonna waltz right past him. First allowed to sneak on back. He's worked his way in a CT spawn now. Bomb might be dropped middle of the site, but right now they think they have full control. They have no idea that Fur is here. He's going to be allowed to walk on in. Fur, this could be massive. Taz, Spidey senses start tingling, and that frag was crucial. Now it's the 2-on-3. Fallen, going to take the peek in. Man behind pillar, here's the pop flash come out. Spots the back, Snacks is down, and now it's a 2-on-2. Only 12 seconds, they have to be fast here. And over towards Quad, Neo lies in wait. Crossfire set up with Taz, the spray comes in. Fallen hits the deck, and Cold's error 1v2, no time left. It will be the round going the way of VP. They hold on to this one, get themselves A6, and Cold's error goes down after the time.
So this is definitely going to be a save coming in, or a pistol round coming in from SK Gaming, as most of the players sitting around 2.5k. Cold's around $300, so the question is, what do they want to do now? Do they want to play Cold on a Deagle for the buy round? That seems to be the case. Something they have done before, playing that one player on a Desert Eagle and the rest of the team buying fully up. VP still on money. 3 rounds in a row, but look at that from Fallen. Ooh. Disgusting. As he takes down Pasha. Great shot from the Brazilian in-game leader.
I mean, what a way to kickstart this round for SK, but still, it's going to be an uphill battle. But chipped away at mid. Phelps, that Molotov has missed. He's allowed to stay here. Bialy has to be cautious. He's going to start to tag onto him, but Phelps is fast. Going to go back for a little bit more. Luckily enough, Neo delivers us from the madness. Still man advantage up for SK. Never recovered from losing. Asher early on. Snacks damage done. Going to be forced back. Plays it around the pillar. Has to isolate these engagements into one-on-ones. And Burr, he's able to take one more. Snacks really has to step up here, but he only takes one. Neo left 1v3. Not like this, VP. He has to try and clutch. Burr's holding short with the AWP. It's pivotal that Neo makes this one happen. Starts around the corner. Burr wins that duel, and there we go, SK. They will be taking 3rd place. Look at this. That was the frag that kick-started this round on the back of a weakened by SK. They will win out the series 16-6 on Inferno, 2-1 overall. And that means they'll be getting that invite back to the next ESG tour.
You just hate to see it. BP, they tried to come back into the game, got 3 rounds in a row, but eventually got shut down by the might of SK. Fallen with that 3rd place. Of course not completely satisfied, but still.
It's been a while since Fallen's had to, get too excited over a 3rd place. But yeah, I mean, good stuff from them. They looked really decent in this VP. He was a bit confused as to where they were coming out. There you go, handshakes all around. I think either team, it was more of a battle towards the end of not only for that invite, but also just kind of, like the pride of it all, right? Exactly. I mean, these guys, they came here expecting first. They end up in what a lot of people imagine would be the grand final matchup anyway.
Yes.
It's still kind of the same circumstances, less money earned. It's kind of always a downside, right?
Yeah, but all in all, a great game. And we, of course, were wrong in our prediction on the last map. Terribly. I know someone on the desk who are almost always right. Let's throw it over to Paul.
Yes, thank you very much. A victory then for SK Gaming. They do secure their position at the very next ESG tour. Virtus Pro, unfortunately, slipped to 4th place. Thorin and Lurp is back with me at the panel. Tommy, these two have played each other a number of times over the last 18 months or so, varying results at various times, even played a football match against each other. This wasn't one of the classics, was it? But at least SK have got through.
No, it wasn't one of the classics, but at the same time, didn't really have the makings of the classic either. These are 2 teams who, I mean, admittedly, Virtus Pro haven't really been competing for the championships, but I would imagine their mentality is still that they do want to win. So it's not like playing for the 3rd place decider is really going to be their dream scenario.
What did you make of the game overall?
Pretty underwhelming for Virtus Pro, I think. Like, they still had a lot of the same problems. Taz had some of his worst games of his career at this tournament, I think, quite frankly. It's clear that a bunch of the team are off. It's not like SK were unbelievable in this game. I mean, they were pretty good on Inferno here. The first map was somewhat competitive. There's just something is off about Virtus Pro. Like, Virtus Pro as a team always reminded me of, like, the old NIP lineup, where the reason why I coined, like, the Nip Magic term is you just knew if the right players were in, like, a 2-on-X situation, they'd find a way to make it into a 2-on-2 and then to win in the 1-on-1 and the really none of that's happening for Virtus Pro at the moment. Like, Bialy does his best, but he's just shooting people in the head, It's not any special teamwork. And as a team, I know one of the big topics that's been discussed is that Snacks is supposedly the in-game leader still for the team, and I have to say, so far, I've got to give that a very low grade in terms of the last few months of him doing that job. It feels like that's something where, I mean, Team Liquid themselves employed that when they've switched it up. I think they have to make another change in that respect. They've tried this experiment and it has not succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, that's from the outside point of view. From our point of view, you look at it and you go, you give the in-game leader role to the best player on the team. He's underperforming as the best player on the team, and his in-game leading isn't particularly good. So, so it makes sense, doesn't it, to us outside? But I guess it's not as clear inside the team.
Well, it's not even that. If you look at how they've been doing this year, I talked to Pasha yesterday, and he said that Snacks has been the in-game leader since the beginning of April. So basically, since I guess Star Ladder might have been the first tournament. So ever since they bombed out of Katowice, I think might have been the previous tournament. Yeah. But early on in the year, first of all, the Poles did really well. They came 2nd at the major. They won DreamHack Masters Las Vegas, and Snacks was a monster at those tournaments. Yeah. He was playing some of the best Counter-Strike of his career.
He wasn't calling it either.
No, exactly, but that's the point. So you're doing so well for the first couple of months. You have won maybe 2 bad tournaments. You switch up your roles basically. But how have you not reverted?
Right.
You've had some of the worst months of your career.
Here's the thing. That's what I would speculate. Okay, so in that scenario, the usual one that they had before was they would swap between Neo and Taz. And with those 2 players, they've had a lot of differing success. Like at times it was Taz who was very good as an in-game leader. I think Neo was the leader actually when they won the major, and he took a leadership I think in 2016 or something. Well, what's interesting is if you saw some of the clips that we've had where it's been like Snacks arguing with people, I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the things they've done where he's just been like, right, I want to be the leader then. If you're having all these problems, because as he said, they'd had a couple of tournaments before they switched where it'd gone badly actually finally for the team. That's sometimes maybe the leader himself. Snacks is like, I want to be the in-game leader then. I want to take over, you know, and maybe he's stubborn, who knows? Because as far as I know, in the brief periods he's been the in-game leader before, I don't think they've ever had any of their success. You know, I think that came with the other players. So unfortunately, one of the factors in their team is, it seems to me like there isn't a boss in that team. That's part of the reason no one's being kicked, you know. It's kind of a democracy element. And
Sounds like a game developer.
Does. Sounds a little bit like Valve with that flat structure, doesn't it? Nothing ever gets done. But you hope they still get a decent enough game, I mean, match out of it.
Okay.
Unban the iBad Power 5. Not that Virtus Pro has any say over that, but you know, I just said it. Anyway,
let's divert our attention to SK Gaming, talk positive for a moment, since we've given Virtus Pro a hard time. They haven't played well here, they'll admit that themselves, they're always very hard on themselves. What have they learned, if anything, from this tournament?
Well, they certainly have not learned that the triple op setup hasn't been very effective here. Maybe they'll take that away, since they weren't using that on Inferno and it went quite well. I mean, I thought the third place decider was fairly underwhelming for SK. On Train, they gave up a bunch of terrorist side rounds to Virtus Pro. I think they only got 8 rounds on their CT side. They still got the win somehow in the second half. Cobble was very underwhelming. It was exactly like against Liquid last night. Just didn't look good on that map. But also, for some reason, and this is something we touched on in the first days, normally you go for the triple quad op weird setups when nothing works. SK's second gun round was 3 ops on Cobble's CT side, so obviously they just don't seem to have confidence on that, but at the same time, that was their map pick. Yeah. So I don't know how that works out. Obviously, Inferno, they just dominated, so that looked better, but I think part of it is also, as I think Duncan's highlighted this before, is Cold Zero just hasn't looked like the monster that it's been earlier in the year. So I'm not sure if maybe that's something still, as he's coming back from the vacation, maybe it'll get better in the next month or two. But right now, SK is just not looking like the world beater they were 2 months ago.
Okay, thanks, gents. Quick reminder for you, if you're watching from home right now, there have been a number of giveaways and competitions. The Steel Series 1 is open still right now. Head over to steelseries.com/ESG. You can win yourself a full gaming gear setup. We've all of us have got them. Some people are VIPs and they get one sent to them, aka Mr. Lurpis. Me and Thorin will just backpack it home. The backpack does come with it. It's fabulous, absolutely fabulous price. So get yourself entered into that one via Steel Series. Right then. We are at the business end of ESG Tour Mykonos, because next up, ladies and gentlemen, is the grand final. That's right, Mouse Sports go head-to-head for Liquid for the trophy.
Be focused. Be uncompromising. Be the best and never hold out. Pick your event. Place your bet. No matter who you are or what you're here for, it's our passion that unites us. Betway, for the love of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESG Tour Mykonos, presented by Betway. You are live from Mykonos for the grand final of our 4-day event. 200,000 euros on the line, 100,000 euros goes to the winner, and the trophy will be headed to the hands of either Mouse Sports or Team Liquid. We have arrived at our final match of the tournament. Back at the panel area once more with Lurfus and Thorin. They've been here for the last 4 days, sunning themselves, getting bitten by mosquitoes in Tommy's case, and getting free gear from SteelSeries. It's been a good week overall, boys.
Not the mosquitoes part.
Well,
that hasn't been very.
It's
very
been okay
enjoyable.
because he's been bitten less than most of us.
Exactly.
So that's been a bonus, Tommy.
I mean, I don't judge my life on a relative basis. It's sort of irrelevant how other people do. I try to take a look at how things are going on an absolute basis.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't really help me to be doing better than the entire population
Just
if
the fact
everybody
you're
else is
being
dying.
Right. Okay. All right.
So
point taken.
stick to the absolute. Don't compare
Right.
to other
so
people.
you've either got malaria or you haven't got malaria, and that's how you
It
judge
doesn't matter if everybody else has malaria too. If you have it, you're still dying.
Got you. Absolutely. Let's take a look at the bracket and show you exactly how these teams arrived at the grand final. Of course, we had an 8-team tournament. They went through the group stages, and our 4 teams arrived in the semi-finals. Virtus Pro and SK Gaming, the surprises perhaps, dropping out of those semi-finals and ending up in 3rd and 4th place respectively. Liquid and Mouse, the surprise grand final, Duncan.
Absolutely. I mean, if you go back a year for both of these franchises, in theory, you would think there's no way they could ever be in a final again, because they actually both lost probably the best players who will ever play for these franchises.
Right.
Team Liquid had Simple, who's incredible, still is now. Mouse Sports had Nico, incredible, still is now over in FaZe. But they've actually managed to, first of all, replace them with more developing players. You've got Oscar over on Mouse Sports, probably the MVP of this tournament, no matter how this final goes. He's been absolutely sensational. Elige is extremely good over on Liquid, as we saw.
Please don't him again. Don't start him
All
off.
right, we'll see. And then the difference is, though, both squads have massively changed now. They don't just rely on those stars anymore. I mean, Mouse Sports particularly have got a really deep roster at the moment. They just haven't had much time with it. You know, it's the second tournament. Team Liquid, yeah, they've had this lineup for a while, but as we've discussed many times, it's something we heard from in the interview with Nitro earlier in the tournament, this role swap, not just of Nitro to in-game leader, which is being done in the past, but crucially to Stanislaw to secondary caller and lurker. It's really brought out his game, and I think it's actually kind of set another element of the team in place, because when you think about a lot of those games where famously the meme is they used to always lose the close games, if you have a player like Stanislaw, he's someone I actually think has pretty good game sense and kind of makes kind of decisive moves. I think that's a great piece to have to kind of offset some of those problems.
Maybe
you're
get
not
over the line at 15.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. You're not going to have people just sitting back hoping you get over the line. You've got someone who's going to make a play, or he's going to do something decisive that means you don't get put in that position in the first place. So 2 very unique, very different lineups, I think. Both, though, share the same quality, that they're both going for the first big title, I think.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll get your thoughts in a moment, Tommy. But first of all, let's check in with Liquid, because we've already heard them earlier in the tournament before we came out here to start the competition. But what about heading into the grand final? Let's find out their thoughts now.
I knew our team could do it, but the way that we made it here was kind of unexpected. Playing big twice and then playing SK. I thought we were gonna play more teams than that, but I definitely knew that we could make it to the grand final soon.
I think that it's been a really good change for us. It's freed up Stanislaw a lot in terms of what he's able to do, and he doesn't have to focus on micromanaging everybody so much anymore. And I think Nick's been doing a really great job at it, and they've had a really good dynamic between him and Stanislaw the whole entire time. So I think overall it's been a really good change for the team.
I think it's just the change, it's just something new, and having Stanislaw and Nitro both calling at different times, it's just a good change, to have 2 opinions more than just one. So
the venue is really beautiful. Everything just looks super stunning. It's got a really good view. The villas are really clean. I've had no complaints so far.
I hope so.
I think that we're going to be taking home the first trophy that Liquid CSGO is ever going to get, so I'm excited.
Unfortunate wording there. He did say that they're ever going to get. He meant has ever gotten, obviously.
Slip at the tongue.
I hope they can win more trophies, Elige. You know, I hope you do as well. So,
Tommy, are you on board with this double caller 50-50 split thing? I mean, I know a number of teams use a main caller and then a secondary, but there seems to be a bit more split.
Well, the thing is, it's impossible to judge based on a couple sound bites of how they actually do it without being there. I think in a lot of teams, there is a scenario sort of like how I think the first major, the Luminosity won in 2016, where after the match when coldzera famously called the overtime against Navi on Mirage, they said that, okay, actually, oh yeah, sorry, it's always fallen calling, but coldzera actually gives input. It's sort of similar, been like that in some of my teams too, where I always make the actual call, but someone else has ideas. So it depends. Like if you have two people who sort of just kind of fight for what they want to do, that's probably not a very good idea. But on the other hand, it's always good if you have opinions. But then at the end of the day, I do think you always have to have someone who's actually the one who's going to decide what to do and when, because otherwise. Some of the time, the way you lead a half too is you do something with the purpose of building on that later on in the half. So you want to run something early on, make sure the other team notices it. Maybe you fake that, maybe you do something else, and you play with that. And if you have two people, unless you can actually read each other's minds, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So I think it comes down to how it's actually executed in practice, and we just don't really have that information.
And we're going to see how it works out as well. Before we move on to talk about Mouse at the panel. Again, we spoke to them before the tournament started. We knew that they were going to have a great vacation and enjoy themselves. But how has this eclectic young team come together to reach a grand final? Let's hear from them right now in their own words.
To be honest, I don't know. I felt like it was really 50-50 how far we would go this tournament because. When we created this new lineup, I felt that we had gotten stronger, but then again, we hadn't practiced much at all. And well, recently we went to Malmo, and well, that was like pretty much a total fail for us. So in that way, it wasn't really expected. But then again, I also knew we were stronger. So if we started rolling, I knew we could get far.
Well, on the other hand, I think it's not that we are playing without pressure. I think that the fact that we are new is adding the pressure a bit, because everyone expects you to be better than previous lineup, and luckily for us, we kind of redeemed ourselves here in Mykonos, because in previous, even in Malmo, we didn't do that good, so that definitely helped in our confidence.
I think we done well, because everybody just played with a really big heart. Everybody really wanted to win, really wanted to show that this lineup can work. Everybody was so disappointed after Malmo, even though, like I said, we are just a new team and we still need to practice. So, but we also all want to win. So we just sat together, we prepared as much as we could together for these matches, and yeah, we just worked hard. We worked as a team, and that paid off.
The venue or the villas here are pretty awesome. It's something that I have never expected, that I will be playing tournament at this place. This is my first time here in Greece, and I'm loving it so far, so it's really, really good.
How would I rate Liquid? I guess before the tournament, maybe 6 till 7, but I guess I would give them an 8 now. I mean, they've done really well. They beat SK, they beat other good teams, so yeah, they seem to be strong.
Are you taking home this trophy?
That's the plan. We're gonna take home the trophy.
Well, hopefully we'll do our best to do so. It's going to be a hard task, but we did worse in this tournament. We came back from a lot of maps, so I think Liquid will be beatable.
It's almost like there's a karma god or something out there that players refuse to admit that they can win or are confident in winning, just in case they upset the karma gods and it goes against them and they look bad afterwards.
I just like that Oscar's such a pimp. He's like a diva. He's like, listen, I just carry the games. I don't do interviews. You know, he's off in some like dressing room, and they just like, Sticko, you go out and do that, mate. We never hear from him, do we? Yeah. Sonny, same thing. So, yeah, the problem is though, those are two players who've had pretty tortured careers. I mean, Sticko was actually in a pretty good Hellraiser that used to have Oscar in, and then people used to say that was like the mini mouse spots, just Oscar carrying. Then he was in like a decent enough Hellraiser this year, but they kind of dipped as we went into the summer. You have Chris J, obviously was infamously in the teams that everyone thought just was Nico carrying, and everyone kind of blamed everyone else who wasn't him. And so these aren't players used to winning. They aren't actually used to being in this position. Whereas actually one thing I will say for Elige and some of the Team Liquid players, obviously Stanislav from his Optic days, at least they've been in big finals, you know, they have had some experience. And so I do feel like actually the tournament edge in terms of experience, not only is Liquid a team, they've been the same lineup for longer, but a lot of the players in mouse sports, actually, as good as they are, haven't been very far in tournaments. It's definitely never been to this level.
Definitely a hint of confidence in there, Tommy, and they should have confidence because compared to what they did in Malmo compared to here, it's night and day difference.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they should be confident that they can win. It's not like Liquid is a superstar team that's just out of their reach. They beat Virtus Pro, obviously not in the same shape as SK, but we also saw that SK is probably not in the best shape they've ever been. Yeah. I think they have a fair shot. I do think Liquid are going into it as favorites, I think, based on what we've seen here so far. And I think a lot relies on Oscar and Sunny once again performing really well for Mousesports.
For sure. Okay. Going to get more thoughts from both Lurpus and Thorin in just a moment, and the vetoes are ahead of us. But first, let's check in with the man of mystery, the man of dancing reams, out on somewhere, hopefully fully closed, to give us the betting advice for the grand final.
Thanks, Paul. Well, I cannot recall a grand final of a tournament that the bookies have no idea about like they do this one. 8-3 about whichever side you'd like. Team Liquid, 1.83. Mousesports, 1.83. They don't know, but fortunately, I do. Liquid are going to be winning this match. Take my word for that one. But what I like even more than the Liquid victory is if you go over to betway.com, you can bet Liquid to win 3-0 and 3-1. Take both of those bets, you'll get combined odds of around 2.75, and that's what I think is going to be happening here. Across the map pool, given this is 5 maps, I think that they have just a slightly deeper pool than Mousesports, and across the maps that are going to be played, I think they're going to come out on top more often than not. They've been really impressive this tournament across the entire roster. I mean, Elege an obvious standout, and they just don't have the over-reliance on one player like Mousesports do with Oscar. I think they're going to do it, and I think they might just do it in 3-1 or 3-0. Back to you, Paul.
He's only picked 2 of the 3 possible options for Team Liquid there.
Very
That's how you bet, you know.
Yeah, well, he's been pretty good so far this week.
Yeah.
He's had a few dance moves, a few shaky moments in the pool, but his advice has been absolutely
He got a bit
spot
nippy
on.
at times.
Yeah, it has got a bit
nippy. It was warm though, so I don't understand what does that mean.
6-packs have been known to drop in this region as well, so that's happened. But
he's one of those people who takes the can where it says like, "Do not sell out of multi-pack." He just has the one. You know.
On the serious side of it, though, 1.83 for both teams. Like, no one can split these 2 teams. We're going to ask you to split them, but only after we've seen the veto, because that's the crucial thing, especially in the best of 5. Duncan.
Well, especially in a best of 5, because you want to actually slant it so that you get your better maps early. You want to make your chances to 3-0 really, really good. Now, not for the obvious reasons that you win, but just because you don't want to let our team to get back in it, and then on the medium maps to feel like they can win. So it's actually more essential to me for Team Liquid, because Mousesports has shown they play anything because they just frag you in the head. So to me, it has to be Liquid. So there we go. They've gotten Inferno as their pick, and Train, Mousesports, Mirage. Right, I actually feel like this is a very good one for Vita, for the guys from Team Liquid. They love Cobblestone. They really like it. They claim it's their best map. I was more questionable myself, but maybe with this new iteration it is. Inferno obviously was kind to them. I feel like coming in, they have to look at those 2 and feel good. On Mousesports side of the equation, I mean, they've shown us some great games on Train. I don't think we've seen them play Mirage at all, as far as I know, in this tournament. I don't know.
No, I don't. They played that in Malmo and didn't go well.
So I have to say, I think I literally would favour Team Liquid to win every single map. But the problem is, it's not as simple as that. Like I've always learned with these kind of scenarios, you don't just go, right, well, you should win that one and you should win that one, therefore it's 3-0. Because again, it's very hard to 3-0 someone. You've got to have incredible confidence as a team. You've got to have everything. You've got to be able to maintain that form for 3 maps in a row. So I would personally go ahead and say 3-1 Liquid, but I think the maps are fantastic for them. They almost couldn't wish for a better map pool, in my opinion.
Okay, Tommy?
I do fully agree. I actually think that all the maps are slightly favored for Liquid. Maybe, I wouldn't say maybe not Nuke, but at the same time, Mousesports is such a new team that Liquid should still have something more for that. I'm very surprised that Mousesports wins for the Cobble pick, considering that is the map that Liquid just beat SK on last night. Yeah. Which, like, it doesn't even matter if that's maybe your best map, but you probably know that Liquid's going to get that anyway. Maybe not on the first, but at least on the second try. So it's an odd map pool. I guess I'm not really sure how Mouse is going to win this one, but I have to say it's one of those things where you have 2 sort of somewhat unexperienced teams. If you do steal one of the maps that are 55-45 or 60-40 types, then you put some extra pressure on the other team. Maybe that's enough to put you over the top. So it's very close to call.
And close to call. Even though their styles are very different, Duncan, in this one. We've got this 5-man eclectic kind of run and gun with a little bit of tactics in them, and then you've got a slightly better tactical side from Liquid. How do they clash head-to-head, do you think?
See, the thing is, I would actually say, in terms of the overall teams, I do edge Liquid in terms of firepower, but I actually do think that Sunny and Oscar at the moment, just the form they're in at the moment, I think they can outfrag Twists and Liquid. Like, I would actually, Liege rather. So I would actually say in terms of the raw superstars. So that might sound like, well, which one weighs up there? Well, that's the thing about superstars. They really can win your map.
Yes.
They can take over, as we saw with Oscar, as we saw with Sunny and Robs when they were against Gambit. 1-2 players who are that good going off, that can win you a map. So that's why I feel like Mouse has to get a map at some point. I don't think you're going to play 3 maps in a row and not have one of these guys go ham. I also think it's very interesting in as much as we know JDM is not really in any way the star player of Liquid, but he's going to be on the AWP because he's played his whole career with an AWP. He's not a very good rifler. We know Oscar, and he's more of a defensive AWPer. Oscar is a very aggressive terrorist AWPer who will actively seek out those duels. So I really want to see that because I think that's another area where Mouse can carve out a little niche for themselves, get them into the game. But I do like the fact that the superstar player for Team Liquid in Liege is just a very stable player. You know, he's someone who he holds his spots. He's really smart about his angles, and he's got fantastic spray. So I think that's really great for consistency. I think he can do that map to map. So yeah, that's why I'm edging it to Team Liquid overall.
All right, okay. Thank you very much to both of you. We're going to get more, of course, from Lopez and Thorin throughout the match. We'll be back after map number 2 to give a breakdown of the first 2 maps and see how things are going. For now, though, we are headed over to your commentary team for the grand final. A nice new duo for the weekend. We've really enjoyed the commentary over the last 4 days. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the grand final with them. Henry G and Machine.
Thank you so much, Paul. It is indeed the grand final, Alex. Have you enjoyed your time here so far?
I've had a blast, man. The cast of life. It's
nice, isn't it?
It's a new side. Yeah, I guess
not
the
bad.
grass green, the greener grass.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here, along for the ride. What a grand final it is, though. Mouse Sports versus Liquid. I don't think anyone predicted this one coming in. I don't think anyone could have said even Mouse Sports or Liquid would make it. You've got SK Gaming here. You've got big name Virtus Pro, Gambit. You feel like they're going to be the ones in the grand final. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? The Betway odds said it was split completely down the middle. Do you agree with that?
I mean, the guys at the panel have kind of outlined it perfectly. It's like Liquids have looked fantastic.
.4 ADR in the match at the moment, so definitely the all-star so far in these first 6 rounds anyway.
And they've done a nice job of playing off each other towards sandbags and holding top banana. They've done a lovely job. It's hard to shut down bolts, and they're doing a lovely job of it right now. As Henny's going to get towards mid. Op shot fired towards Kusti. He does have a player up in Arch Cubby. That smoke may just force FNS off. Flash over, so they're going to fall back. Lucas, Galil in hand. Going to clear porch and hold for any kind of re-swings from CLG. But look at CLG in response to this, knowing that the mid has become contested from Immortals. There's an op towards mid. They don't feel comfortable retaking that map control. They push down banana. So that's the power of the CLG setup right now, being very confident towards banana.
Very, very quiet from Immortals this time around. The problem is that CLG is starting to get a lot more confidence, so we're going to see those aggressive pushes. At the very least, Ethan's only able to go 1 for 1 this time, as he gets burned out by Amali. A second later, Kanji pushing in. He gets baited by that player at Arches, though. Doesn't suspect to find his second a little bit further back, and that's where Kusta is going to re-pick up the advantage here for CLG and send Immortals flying to the other side of the map.
Smoke towards CT. Oh! He gets caught. Steel on the move. And Steel's even going to continue moving. Yeah, it's not going to stop. They're not ready for him to push in towards tree. It's such a risky play to push through the smoke. He even spots the third. I think he's going to re-swing on this, as his teammate will throw a smoke right at his feet. And I think that's going to prompt a save from Kusti and Cutler. Here it is. So CLG aware. It's a bit too much to chew. So they are just going to completely fall back, hold on to the expensive op, and concede at least 1 round to Immortals.
Goes from like a, I believe it was like a 4v5 in CLG's favor down to now a 3v2, and obviously both of these players from CLG calling a save, as you just mentioned. So interesting whether that changed up there. Just a bad read from CLG, not realizing that Immortals fell back from their A push, and then obviously way too slow on the rotate.
Yeah, as Immortals were gaining mid control, the smoke at bottom banana started to dissipate, and Ethan got mollied out. He did trade 1 for 1, as you mentioned, but that was the key for Immortals to then continue to aggress forward. They pushed Ricky back, and CLG were very committed due to KNG still keeping pressure towards mid. They didn't want to over-rotate and over-guess the situation.
Yeah, it's not just Ricky showing up as well, just to give some more stats out here. It's also Ethan's having a pretty good game in these first couple of rounds. Just under 100 ADR right now. He's sitting well over that as of the last round, but obviously things changed up a bit now that Immortals have finally picked up 1 round on their own regard. We'll see if that remains consistent. As you can see, though, it's already gotten pretty close to breaking CLG. We do have pretty much a full buy for these CTs, but Finesse is going to find himself down on an MP9 there with minimalist utility. I believe after this one, and that is indeed the case, they'll be broken pretty quickly if they're not careful.
A switch up from CLG. They're going to play back into the B site, conceding top banana control. They've been very aggressive at the beginning, and with Ricky going down to 50, they decided it's just best to shuffle back. As that molly will send KNG at least to more of a passive position for now. Benny is going to, looks like towards mid, he wanted to use that molly to clear out Cubby, but it looks like Immortals with 3 players towards top banana. They're going to slowly shift walk forward, and with Henny rotating and the bomb being there, I think they're just going to give room for KNG to work with as Immortals get ready to explode towards the B site momentarily, but they're making an aggressive play. Flash over, they have no info. Ricky wanted Ethan to take the fight, but with no frag from Ethan, it's so much now for Ricky to try to hold.
Ricky's going to get flanked in a second, too. Here, he's got players pushing in from Church. The molly's going to stop him from falling back. They corner him.
Yep.
Beautiful clear from Immortals there. They knew exactly how to play that, and there's just no option here for these other 3 players. No way they're retaking that. Time to fall back, time to save, and Immortals even know that that was going to happen, too. So look, they've sent KNG in. He's the hunter now. He's going to try and see if he can knock out a couple more of these players just to make it even more of expensive of a round. Look at it, walking right in.
So you gonna...
Hello?
Houston turns around. And the player in pit, Cutler, you can't really blame him as he was holding A-Apps. But it's so unfortunate for Houston to turn around and just have a player in his face. Cutler would love to try to get the op here. But Immortals did a lovely job. CLG, they know they conceded. Mid-control was given up. Immortals fall back on it. And the B players realized Ethan had to make a play, and it just doesn't work out. They're not saving anything. Immortals will break CLG. We'll see how much they're willing to go in here, but Immortals will finally get 2 in a row, which is critical now for them to start something on their T side.
Yeah, timeout being taken, the first one for CLG so far in this matchup here. But 2 rounds, it's a complete switch up from the storyline that we have been seeing up to this point, where CLG kind of seemed like they were just dominating the map on the CT side. Immortals, however, found their own fighting style, and they pretty much just crushed the last 2 rounds here, barely taking any damage at all. And even when CLG on this last round here trying to force saves, even that's unsuccessful. They can't even keep their players alive in the A bomb site, so things are just going really bad, and you can see where they're trying to figure out things and help out his team as best as possible.
See what the changeup is. It could be, the changeup could be going into the double ops perhaps. They still haven't pulled out that card. It's been mainly Kusta wielding that one towards arches / rotating around A site. The answer could be Ricky getting that op on B site, getting aggressive at the beginning of the round, and just leaving Ricky to just anchor with it. So we'll see what CLG are going to answer with when the rifle round comes up. For now, it is just going to be a very just stack and gamble kind of play with these pretty much default pistols.
CLG quickly, actually, oh, this is interesting. Now, they're basically, as you said, on default pistols, so this is probably not going to lead to much. But it's very rare nowadays that you see the CTs have such an active presence inside of the apartments now. So, I mean, Tarek always used to do it, so someone had to take over that role, right?
Yep. Looks like Immortals are not interested in A-Apps, so they're just going to ramp. They could even just go to B if they really wish. With no contact coming towards A site, A-Apps, or porch at all, they could go to B, but it looks like they're feeling confident enough to just walk into the site. CLG will have the numbers here quickly, as there's just one lone ranger in sight for CLG. And that's Cutler. He'll deal a little bit of damage, but no frags for him. So the bomb's going to go down, and CLG is just going to try to see as much damage as they can really do here.
Yeah, Finesse rolling away from it. It's not going to contest outside there anymore. Well, it's an interesting concept from CLG to try and see if they can knock out at least 1 or 2 players pushing apps, but just didn't get lucky. Didn't have anybody from Immortals pushing inside of there, so it didn't lead to much. Oh, well, maybe we'll see it now. Ricky, oh, gets caught trading on a gun. Steel just destroys Finesse with a nade, and now they're hunting them down 1 by 1. They found the last one. Unfortunately, he's inside of a smoke, so finding him is going to be a little bit tough. Finally, at least 1 kill rolls out there for the guys on CLG. Ethan gets the headshot on Steel, but that'll be it.
So there's 1 op bot up. We'll see if the second's going to come into play. Nope, no catch for it. So it is just going to be Ricky picking up the op. I'm assuming he's going to go back towards the banana position where he's been playing with Ethan. They're doing a nice job of playing for each other. We'll see exactly where Ricky's spawn is. So he will be behind Ethan, so he could just post up onto the wall and try to get the frag. But again, they're going to go into this passive setup. So they feel confident. They pull a 3rd player over to use utility early to give the Immortals a little bit of a scare that they could be playing aggressive, bait out some utility for Immortals right off the get-go. But with CLG only having 2 members, Immortals are going to play this so smart, just walk pushing up towards A-Apps. We haven't seen this yet. It's been very slow from Immortals.
Okay. That was the most brutal kill I've ever seen as KNG just leaps into action there. Lucas a little bit cleaner as he picks up the 2nd one. And, I mean, there you have it again. Immortals taking such quick control. There really is nothing that CLG can do since they still have the 3-man stack on B. This is the situation that you always have to worry about as a CT team on Inferno. I've talked about this a few times over the course of the weekend. So this has been a pretty common map that we've ended up playing on. But if you're not being aggressive, if you're not moving out, and if you're bad at gathering the intel about what your opponents are doing on T side there, this situation is going to happen so many times. That's exactly what's happened the last 3 gun runs we've had that Immortals have won now. CLG has been put into a situation where, yeah, there's no chance of us retaking this. We have to just sit on the other site and save. And this happened with the old Inferno, too.
I don't even know if Immortals aren't going to let them save. They have 3 members towards Banana.
Well, that's the thing is, it's very obvious they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's, you know, it happens with every team in this situation. So Immortals know for a fact they're going to sit on the other side and save. So they might as well go over there, see if they can get a couple kills. And they might actually. Ricky there thought he could survive the round timer in the molly. Didn't happen, and he got pushed out.
So Kusta stay alive. That is 4 in a row from Immortals now. And this is just the swift play from KNG. They realize what's going on. They just had an inkling. a lot of CT teams do send 3 towards Banana right off the get-go. And that opens up towards A apps, especially if CLG don't have anyone spotting mid. They have no one kind of poking product towards A apps. Very pushed back into the site, and they just get caught off guard with the walk push. So it is just Kusta with the M4, Ethan with his Deagle, and Ricky with his Zeus again. It's a nice storyline.
Ricky's a bit impatient, though. That's the thing. The Zeus game is a patient game. You can't go peeking because then they know you're there. You can see that there. They're trying to take the op shots to the half wall now to spot that. Lucas looking for a peek. He's got to be careful with those Eagles in play. Finesse, though. Not going to be a force to be reckoned with. And Lucas, it's just a shooting gallery over there by Porch. 3 quick kills for him. And now just the 2 on B remain again. Kanji's already handled one of them. Will we see the peek from Ethan? Well, we will, but it's kind of forced upon him. And KNG will pick up that last kill.
So Immortals are now within 1 round. Not only that, pretty much every player is hitting over $10,000 on round number 12. They have set themselves up beautifully. CLG have been unsuccessful in dealing damage to the T-side economy, even in their rifle rounds. So CLG are going to bring out the double ops. First time we've seen this on the CT side. I mentioned it is going to be a possibility eventually. So Kusa and Ricky will both have these out. They'll have op pressure towards mid, arch, Banana, wherever they wish to place it. And it looks like CLG are just going to settle back into that, just Ricky and Ethan towards Banana, and just double commit towards arch side, which they've done before, and it's worked out beautifully early on in this half.
Oh, Kusta seems like he had that shot dead to rights there. It's not going to be the case as he tries to take just a little bit of a pixel-perfect shot in the hole. He'll just miss it. That time he'll get it, though, as he finds KNG picking out around the wrap side here. His teammate going to be remaining patient inside of Cubby, too. Cutler has not had a reason to peek yet, but that'll change now. He not only gets the first kill, but he'll follow it up with a second against Steel. All of a sudden, Immortals not looking so hot in this round. A great setup, and they get aggressive, too, is what I like about CLG in this round. They push out. Kusta finds himself moving in, shooting with the op a little bit. And then Cutler takes an aggressive peek out from Cubby. Finally, it leads to some impact for these guys, as they've been falling flat for the last 5 rounds now.
We'll see if CLG are going to fall in the trap of taking a peek somewhere. They really don't have to, right? You have a 3-man advantage at this point. And there you go. Kusta's just going to peek from default, catches bolts as he's trying to just find 1 frag towards sight and give some room for Henny to work with. So on a 1v5 with the op now, 40 seconds. Henny's just going to try to deal as much damage as he can. I mentioned they're over $10,000. So he's not sweating getting the op again in the next round. He's just going to try to drop some rifles. And CLG set up back to the bread and butter default with the 2 players towards B. They can choose to be aggressive if they want in their own decision making. And the double towards Arch just countered Immortals perfectly there as Henny's so quick on the trigger. Catches Ethan. He's even trying to bait out a peek from Ricky. As Henny will get to sight, Ricky will miss, but not that time as CLG will keep 4 alive. More importantly, double op still in play, and CLG will get to 7.
So they stay in their lead. The problem is, as you had mentioned at the beginning of the last round, though, it's going to take at least 1 to 2 more rounds to break down that massive Immortals economy. I mean, to be honest, the Immortals should just be good for the rest of the half because they're going to buy fully into the next round, and then they'll force buy on the 15th round anyway.
Double op on T side. First time we've seen this from Immortals as well. So they're going to be playing a very slow kind of game. Gusa's going to challenge it right off the get-go. Kid seems slowly shift into this peak against Henny, but he is just going to play it safe, fall back to arches. Full trust in Kusta to hold arches. Completely solo. And the double-up pit is such a strong setup for CTs. 1 in first pit, 1 in second pit. As you can see, there's a player up on balcony there who can fall back into first pit. As Kusta is going to be a little more mobile with his op towards the A site. But the great utility from Immortals to really solidify mid-control right off the get-go. And they're doing like a crossfire with an op. One has Porch, one has Arch.
Yeah, it was a little bit, do you think it's odd at all seeing double op on this map on T side?
It's definitely risky, especially considering, well, unless you get peeked like that. I mean, it's risky, but if you have KNG and KNG and Henny, both crazy operators, you can find opening picks like that, and you're getting mid-control for free, you're not feeling too pressured from the CT side, it's not too bad of an idea.
Well, we are seeing the rest of Immortals slowly start to inch their way over into A here now. As CLG sit with just 2 remaining to defend it. They haven't called for the full rotate. They do have Ricky sitting on highway, and he's just waiting for the signal to work his way fully into the site. I think he's heard it now as he's pushing back up. Finesse takes an aggressive stance by Hay Barrel. He's going to go down. Cutler gives himself away. He gets 1 trade, but that's it. Now he's down to Bolts in the last 2. We're going right back into the same old situation here. The B players, they don't have a choice. They have to save.
CLG going to be back down to $1,400. That's going to hurt, especially considering Finesse is on 50. The rest are looking around. They're pretty comfortable right now. Like they don't have a lot of cash, but they're not as low as on $50. They're sitting around 1,500 average. As it looks like Ethan and Ricky, as you mentioned, going to try to post up. Ethan's going to try to push forward to slow them down to getting to the Opera Ricky. But I think Ethan's main goal here is just try to find a good hiding spot, as Immortals will be within 1 round. Very back and forth game right now, though, in Inferno. It's not as big of a role as we saw Immortals against LG. They just, their T-side just completely flattened their brothers out. Here, CLG are putting up a good defense. And it's a lot on the backs right now of Ethan's doing a nice job towards Banana. He knows when to rotate. And Ricky's kind of fallen silent lately, but he was waking up during the early parts of this game.
Ricky and Ethan to a certain degree, too. Both of them have dropped off the ladder pretty heavily.
So what it's going to be like here on 14, so all things considered, not a bad buy for CLG, considering they only got $1,400 last round. And to answer your question about the double ops, I don't think it's too safe on the T side. A lot of people are against it, but I mean, if it works, it works. But this time, the boost, so they pull out a different card out of their hat. CLG, we've seen the wall boosts, we've seen just bait and switches towards sandbags. That time, they go for the boost towards Wolf Wall, I guess some call it. There's a whole bunch of different names. Yellow wall in the corner, and they're able to find the opening frag.
Oh, the old car spot.
The old car spot, but on the corner, yeah.
Well, Ethan, again, taking a bit of a risky position. Sitting outside the CT smoke. Oh, he thought he saw something there. Trying to spray into that, or timed it at the very least. No pickups for him. All remains quiet after we see Immortals lose that initial player. And a clutch traded shot from Ricky after he got leg 2 to find Henny. So that was good stuff from him. The problem is he has to sit back, as you can see, over here towards Emo corner and try to stay alive a little bit. He can't really take any initial open fights. Hugging the back pole, gets himself 1 more. The flash is great, but everybody from the side of Immortals is hiding away from that one, so they avoid any further deaths against them. And Steel does a great job of clearing out the 2 defenders. With decent trades, though, CLG aren't going to give it up this time. They should attempt a retake. Oh, maybe not anymore, as the Cutler does get knocked back out in Garden pretty quickly by Steel there. It does seem like they're still going to push forward, however, but even as they do that, Steel just brute forces his way into the church. He'll get knocked down to 10 HP, but they have brought it down to Kusta. He will trade that frag finally. He's got a lot of utility, so he actually might go for this in the 1v2, but he gets out, and the flash was a miss. So KNG is able to freely peek out, take him down as soon as he's in the opening there.
Steel did not stop that game, or that round. Yeah. I wonder if the chicken coming through that smoke actually prompted Steel to continue to push that. I know sometimes that's a tell. Some players use it, others just ignore it because they're kind of random also. But he pushes through that smoke, finds that player in Chapel, and that's ultimately what sealed the deal. As on round 15, 7-7, CLG upgraded pistols and MP9. Very limited on what their possibilities are here.
Chickens are just unbalanced, clearly.
They're broken.
Yeah. Get rid of them.
Can't do that.
Get him out. Well, Ethan is going to get unlucky with nades again this time. It was CLG returning fire for the most part with their own nades previously, but this time it's Ethan that takes most of the fire from it. He's going to be down at 17 HP, and oh, Kusta seemed like he was ready there, but KNG still gets the better of him in that circumstance. Now Immortals, it's just a slow process of cleaning up the rest of these buys from CLG here. Bolts even getting himself all the way up to the cubby. Just a casual little kill on Ethan. And that's it. B bomb site's actually clear. It's probably going to take them another moment or 2 to realize that, however.
In the meantime, KNG, you can see him to the right side of this wall. Just going to sit and wait for rotations from CLG. Ricky is going to clear it. His deagle shots are good. Finally, cleans up, hits the third one. His bomb will go down. Bolt's pushed up into Chapel. Ricky very tagged, but has an AK. But Lucas prepared for this. Peeks towards mid. They're both heavily tagged now as Ricky's the first to fall. Last one up is FNS. 14 HP. Gets a flash in. Lucas is ready. And there's steal towards top mid. So Immortals claw back after a great start from CLG. As there's Bolt started to go to work towards Banana. He didn't really have such a shining performance, but once the double ops came out from Immortals, even the single op, they started to just find the opening picks, and a lot of times went untraded from CLG.
Yeah, it seemed like a miniature version of the way that Train played out in a way, right? CLG come out dominating right from the start of it. Or at the very least, in our last, we saw Immortals pick up a few rounds at the beginning, but for the most part, the first half or the first quarter of this map ended up being CLG's, but for the most part, the second half of the half ended up going all to the Immortals with just one little blip there, putting CLG up to 7. Besides that, Immortals take full control. Just takes them a while to get things going. And the real problem for CLG, too, is even when they did win that one round, they didn't have the luxury that they had in the last map of just having Immortals' money solo for so long. Immortals just had a massive bank this entire half, so they were constantly fighting against full gun rounds and that double op setup that you were mentioning.
Yeah, it was hard to break Immortals' economy at that point. Once they got those rounds together, CLG couldn't deal damage to their economy. It took so long to just dwindle them down a little bit. So here we go into the second half. Immortals on the CT side now, CLG on the T. We'll see FNS pick up that smoke flash nade. Ricky, of course, with his deagle. I expect nothing less from him anymore.
Well, CLG have to recover here now, otherwise they're going to find themselves eliminated at the semifinals. They want to prove themselves. They want to be the big team, and this will be a great chance to do it. They've had good starts on both maps, but have fallen behind. Now we need to see them recover again and make sure that they keep that recovery strong, as otherwise Immortals will crush them and move on to the finals to take on either Cloud9 or North, pending the result of that matchup.
Thought Lucas was going to be a bit more aggressive there. Falls off just as Ethan checks that corner with Kusta. And he's going to feel a little bit of pressure towards Banana. Holds on to his nade. He's going to let it go now. A little bit of damage down. He's going to continue this push. Loses the duel to Cutler. That's an opener for CLG, but they're very spread right now on their opening default, so they don't want to push into anything or jump the gun. They know they have the numbers when they settle into an execution or pick a site. As you can see, Immortals have given up the A site as well. Bolts is smoked off towards Arch, and Lucas is playing that library cubby. So very passive from Immortals towards A, and very passive towards B. They're just not taking any risk whatsoever after they get picked.
Lucas trying to go for the long-range pistol shots as well there, but nothing being found really. Just about 20 to 30 damage being knocked off of Cutler, and oof, he gets gooshed on the way back. So now he's going to be having to hide for the rest of this round. Ricky holds, though, with that deagle, and that's always the big surprise. The deagle purchase on the initial pistol round. He's going to just rip apart Bolts. Finesse finding Steel just a few seconds later. It's looking good for CLG. We'll see if Lucas or CanG can do anything about this, but at the moment, it's looking like they're, for the most part, just trying to see if they can get some exit frags. Definitely the case for KNG. It's going to be CLG that'll take very dominant control of this second half pistol, and they will immediately tie up this scoreline at 8-8.
Taze told me yesterday, pistols are all about confidence, and that's just CLG feeling very confident in their pistols. Get the opening pick even from Cutler towards top Banana, and then they just regroup and pick a site and go together. That's just pure out confidence as they run out towards the A site. We'll see what CLG's first round buy is going to be like here after winning the pistol. It's still a little rifle heavy with a couple UMPs, as Immortals will go for the typical buy into this one. It looks like Ricky wants to apply some pressure towards top Banana, see if he can't find that opening pick. It's like Cutler did in the pistol. But Immortals want to peek mid here. They're shoulder peeking it out. So information gained. Falling back now. As Ricky's just going to be the lone man right here. If not get a frag, at least slow rotations.
In their way. They got to be careful, though, that close-up position. They're definitely not... Oh, he gets a second one, too. Great stuff from Steel. And now they're not even going to expect this. KNG rolls in from the other side, dominates it. Ricky's traded up the one kill, but, I mean, this doesn't matter much unless he had the bomb, as that bomb is way over there, right at the mid-choke point. So this is all Immortals now. Beautiful stuff with that CZ.
It's a lot of dry peeking towards mid from CLG there. They knew there was one player close based on the shoulder peaks. They just didn't want to use their utility. They wanted to wait for the peaks from Immortals. And then when they swing, it just all Steel and KNG, the pinch with the CZs. And we saw the damage dealt from that. Get 2 AKs out of it, the 1 UMP. And Ricky's tagged down to 55. And and he will get shut down from any Immortals. That has to hurt, especially after the way Immortals started to bring back that first half. For CLG to win pistol in the second, start to feel good again, and immediately just shut down from Steel and KNG.
Yeah, and here you can see it again. Problem is as well, I mean, the big issue there, right, is that they kind of just get tunnel vision. That's to the porch side. They don't even expect to see the other players swinging it from the other side. That's what really kind of seals the deal is KNG's 2 kills there, as he's just able to waltz right up. He's not even like shift walking either, just loud walking his way, just running his way right to the breach and just destroy CLG anyway. So a big mistake from CLG, and it's going to cost them their lead.
Deep smoke from Immortals, knowing CLG if they do purchase here.